Hey Dunbar Poets, Miss Wilson here, your U.S. History 1 teacher. So for this week, we're going to finish up our American Revolution, and our class assignment this week is African Americans, Native Americans, and Women in the American Revolution. So for my in-class students, we're going to have these posters, and we're going to work in socially distanced groups. For my remote students, you guys can work at your own pace to finish this information. Remember, if you have questions as you're going through it, feel free to reach out to me on Google Classroom or through my email. All right, so let's look at the first poster. This is about women in the Revolutionary War. So let's skip on down to your questions. So to answer questions, you're going to double click in the area where it says double click here to type your answer. You can highlight and hit that backspace to clear it out and then go ahead and type in your answer. So for women of the Revolutionary War, it says types of involvement. So you can look right here at the beginning of this green box and also look into camp followers, and that will give you some idea of what women did and how they were involved in the Revolutionary War. And then on the bottom, you're going to give examples of how each of these women participated in the Revolutionary War. And again, you can find all that information. Their names are listed in each section. So look in each section, see what they did, and go ahead and just type short answer in the box. Now our next group of people we're talking about are African Americans. You'll notice that there's kind of like two sides of the poster here. So you have your Continental Army over here on your left side of the poster, and you have the British Army on the right side of the poster. So our graphic organizer is set up very similar. You're going to talk about the Continental Army, and you're going to summarize, were they able to fight in the Continental Army? Now that one's a little tricky because the answer to that changes. So you need to explain that in this section. Like, how does that change over time, their ability to fight? Then you would go back, and right here at the bottom, it tells you what happened to African Americans at the Revolution, after the Revolutionary War. And you will fill in a brief answer of what happened to them at the end here. And then we go over to our British Army side. Were they able to fight? Summarize that information here. Also explain what kind of benefits they might have had to fight in the British Army. Also, the end explanation is here as well for that side, what happened to them in the end, and summarize that information. Our final group we're going to talk about this week is our Native Americans. Now, we have two sections in this as well, but it's kind of top and bottom. Okay, so if you look at this, it says Iroquois and it says Cherokee. Now, our Iroquois is going to be right up here. Okay, so you're going to listen to your audios up here, and you'll notice this is broken down into two sections. That's because I really struggled with some of the pronunciations of the names, and I'm sure you're going to hear that in the audio, so just try to bear with me on that. So this is going to be what happened with them as far as during wartime, and then what was their experience. And then you read this for the Cherokee as well and their experiences. Now, the end of the war, and you'll see it says Treaty of Paris here. This is going to tell you what happened to our Native Americans after the Treaty of Paris. The Treaty of Paris, you're going to learn this week, is the end of the Revolutionary War. So once that was signed, how did that impact Native Americans? And that answer, of course, is right here. So you're just going to summarize information and put it in your graphic organizers. So again, any questions, feel free to email me or put them on Google Classroom. Of course, my hybrid students, if you're in the classroom this week, you can work with ask your peers questions, your classmates questions in class. And you, of course, can ask me questions in class about it. So I will hopefully see you guys soon. Remote students, please pop in on Zoom if you can. And that's a good place to also ask me questions at the beginning of class before we get started this week. So remember, if you're first or second period, you can pop in on Zoom either on Tuesday or Thursday. If you're fifth or sixth, pop in on Zoom either Wednesday or Friday. So hope to see you guys soon, either in person or on Zoom. Stay safe.